Hello and welcome to week 15. Last week you finished up your data literacy assignment, and if you are in 3183, which is most of you, you uploaded that to TK20, so make sure that you have done that. It has an end date in there, which is the end of the semester. But it was due on Sunday, so do make sure that you got that submitted. If for the few of you who are in the other section, the 3803, then you have a Dropbox that you should have submitted it to. So please make sure that's in. It is worth a good amount of points, so I'll get those graded in the next couple of days. So this week, which we are in our last official week of class, you'll be finishing up some content, reading through chapter 15 to make sure that you have that information. And then you're going to be finishing up your research report. So, oh, and well, I guess it's too late. If you had a chance to do the extra credit, hopefully you got that submitted. But this week you'll be reading the last chapter, watching the last part of the lecture, which you'll need to have for the quiz. Do read this supplemental reading. And then also you'll be reading chapter 16 as well. So, be sure that you're working on those. Of course, you can continue to work on them next week if needed, because this week you need to submit your final research report. So I spent time last week going into each Google Doc after your peers had a chance to comment, and I placed a lot of comments within the document, some within it and then some just as comments. So please be sure to address those. And let me know this week if you have questions about anything I did. I tried to place some positive comments too, but definitely one of my weaknesses is just making suggestions and not giving you a lot of positive comments. So I apologize for that. It's not that that I didn't find positive things, but I find it much quicker to let you know what you need to change. So if you have questions on that, let me know. But all in all, they were good, and just be sure that for this final research report, you read through the instructions, because the guidelines are different than for the draft. The draft was just finding that third article and kind of summarizing it together. So for this final paper, just make sure that you read through each part of this and that you've addressed each thing. I think for the most part, you did a good job of kind of putting your articles together in a cohesive paper. Some of you did, kind of explain article, so do make sure that you change that if I commented on it. And make sure that you get out the you. Several of you did talk about I and you and we, and in a formal, especially research paper, you just cover the research that you found, and you want to describe it as, Popham 2017 found that whatever. So it's not your opinion, it's a summary of the existing research. So you can go to this OWL, which is the online writing lab at Purdue. There's lots of suggestions and examples for how to format things in APA. But make sure your paper's 400 to 500 words. So I have a sample paper for you that is shorter, but I changed the guidelines this year from last year, so your paper needs to be a little bit longer than the sample paper. So you don't need to include an abstract, but do have a cover page, a references page that all of you did, and then you will upload your final paper to D2L, and it does get scanned by Turnitin as well, so make sure that you don't use direct quotes and that you're paraphrasing the information that you found. So this is the rubric that I'll be using to grade the paper. Again, 400 to 500 words. Check for grammar and spelling errors. Some of you did have some problems there. Make sure that you have proper citations in the paper. I corrected those for you if they were wrong. That you paraphrase, don't have direct quotes, that your references are correct. And look at those example papers too, and I'll show you those in a moment, but that's a good way to just kind of check your references. That your paper is clear, has a good organization. For the most part, you did this. Make sure you have transitions between paragraphs, that you have a clear kind of thesis statement or research question to explain to the reader what the paper is about. You need to have 3 articles, which most of you did already have, and that you've kind of summarized it by blending those ideas together, and have a clear introduction and conclusion. So I think that's pretty clear, but just make sure that you have met those guidelines. And then here's the sample papers for you. So this one is the one that I had posted with the rough draft, I believe. It's a paper that I wrote, and it's not necessarily to do, oh, maybe this is not the one I wrote. Okay, this was one that a student submitted last year. So, and this is incorrect. This is not supposed to be in all caps. I did change that on a few of yours, so make sure it's lowercase. But you can see here, you can see how she quoted Popham, how that's at the end of the sentence with the period, and same here. And then she quoted again something, not quoted, but she provided information that Tucker said, and instead of I think, or in this article it says it's what he found in his article, or what he stated in his article. So she's got a strong, conclusion, a strong introduction, and then this is her references page. So the references that came from the database are these, the Gullen and the Olson, and then this one, Tucker. She added in several other references, including the textbook, which if you're using information from the textbook, you should include that too. And you can copy it from the syllabus. Just copy it exactly how it is in the syllabus, and that's correct. And so the other sample paper is the one that I posted with the rough draft. It's a paper I wrote, but it just again shows the formatting and everything there of kind of how to write and put the citations in. I'm not going to be super picky on APA because that's not what this class is, but you do need to follow some of the formatting guidelines as far as citing information within your paper and then the references page. So when you finish, be sure to submit it here to this research report. And then also, just to let you know, I did go ahead and post information in the class on your review. So if you get finished with this early and you want to start reviewing, feel free to do that. Let's see if it's down here. So I have a link here to the PowerPoint review, and then these are the slides that I talk about in the review. It just covers the content, and then this is where you go to your review, which will start on the 6th. So I won't be posting a video next week. Just be sure to get on here and go over your review and review document before you take the quiz next Monday. So hope that you had a good week, and let me know if you have any questions. Post to the class discussion board, or if you have questions about your specific research paper, then please let me know that. Thank you, and thanks for a great semester.